Nifty Culture. This is Nifty Culture. That's what's going on. I'm PO, and today I'm joined by a YouTuber, relative newcomer, but a new OG to the NFT space, and fellow guy who wears party shirts, Mr. BFresh. How's it going, BFresh?
I'm doing beautiful. Thank you, obviously, PO, for having me on the show. As I mentioned earlier, I watch you guys all the time about different NFT topics, and I feel like it's just a space that's going to get bigger and bigger. So, thanks for having me. While obviously you guys are still growing, because I'm sure, couple weeks, couple months time, you guys are going to be bigger than me.
Well, I appreciate it, man, and I appreciate the YouTube tips that you were giving me before. To give the audience context, me and B Fresh connected. He's interested in NFTs. He's a YouTuber, has a background with content creation, and he's gotten in NFTs and has been paying attention to some of the recent trends and has a few similar kind of ideas and interests that I do in the NFT space. So I'm pumped to have him on. The number one thing that we wanted to talk about today was CryptoPunks. So, give people some context, talk about how you got in NFTs, and then let's talk punks.
Yeah, for sure, man. So it's just like a real quick thing. Like I think it was like a while ago, back in 2017. It was obviously I got into crypto, and I remember obviously with all the hype and all that stuff that was happening. I remember crypto kitties being a thing,
Yeah.
and that was to me that was like the first implementation of NFTs from what I remember, at least personally. It's the major one, and I remember that like I think like when it first really came out, it was the first thing that clogged Ethereum, and that's what everyone realized. Like, holy shit, like this is some real shit right here. The NFTs could be something big and like big enough to some more or less like stop like an entire network. But fast forward to today, like I don't think it was until what was my first NFT that I got? It was like maybe a couple of months ago. I'll be honest with you, because I wasn't really big into it. I was mainly focusing on DeFi, honestly, for a while. Actually, in the beginning of this year,
Yeah.
NFTs weren't even on my mind, to be honest. But I think it was after a couple of months, I ended up kind of getting involved in NFTs. I made my own stuff for my personal channel, well, mainly for me. For it's like because I don't like the idea of like guess you could say like collect like taking people's money without giving them anything in return. So I made like these little shirts called Freshies, and made them like $20 a pop. Like, hey, if you want to support me, then buy an NFT and at least you have a cool little shirt in your wallet. But yeah, no, dude. Since then, I've just been kind of like collecting little things here and there. I think Amoebit was actually the first actual NFT that I got. And then shortly after, I ended up going out of DeFi and mainly kind of getting a CryptoPunk just a couple months
You
ago.
so you own a punk.
Mm. I have I can show it, but it's number is 8453. I finally ended up remembering it.
Eight four
If,
five three. Okay.
yeah.
That's exciting. I'm gonna pull it up. And so, when did you get the punk and how much did you pay for it?
So I got it about I don't even remember how when I got it. I think it'll tell you on the page probably, but I got it I think in mid July. I want to say, am I right? Mid July. Did I get it mid July?
Mid June.
Mid June. Wow, that was a while ago. I got it mid June, and as you can see, I went back and forth with listing it there. Uh, Luckily, I actually delisted it again, and now it's sitting up there for a cool 100. But yeah, I bought it for 16th ETH. That was most of my ETH stack actually at the time. And now I mean, shit, I could probably sell it off for like a lot more, quite obviously, but I'm kind of letting it sit there for that crazy price. And if it sells, it sells, and if it doesn't, it doesn't.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. And so when I think about punks, like for example, I know other people that have bought punks recently. They've sold their punks for massive, gains, and I totally get that. But my thing, the way that I think about it is, the punks is the forever NFT. It's the forever like Bitcoin of the
Right,
NFT space. It really is. It's the first 10,000 piece avatar generative art project on the blockchain. It predates the modern ERC token. It has all of this history to it. The creators of punks, Larva Labs, are like respected by the community. They are, admired by the community, so to speak. And I know I'm saying a
right,
lot of stuff, but it shouldn't be like slept on how important the punks actually are. They've already been auctioned by one of the major art houses. We've seen these absurd multi-million dollar sales. We've seen the floor get swept to the tune of, I think it was 7 million or something like that last week. And so
Oh
my
yeah,
question to like, my question is, what's the benefit of selling it? Like, uh, the reason being is like, okay, if you need the cash, like if you need like the liquid money to buy like a house or something, like, okay, cool. I guess I get it. But like these things aren't going to like go anywhere anytime soon. And long term, I could see these being like the Bitcoin of NFTs. So I'm just more inclined to hold the asset rather than change it into cash. So I would love
yeah.
to hear your perspective on like why you'd think that you might sell it. And I get it's a high price, I get it, but
Oh yeah,
at the
yeah.
same time, I still want to ask the question. Yeah.
It's an obvious question, to be honest with you. It's so I can buy another one at a lower price and
Oh,
cash in
okay.
ETH. That's why. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's exactly what you said. Like, and I made a video about it the other day, where it's like to me the only NFT that like is here to stay, like for a fact, are CryptoPunks, right? I mean, like and not to say that I think like celebrities making other profile pictures are a sign of them being here forever, because I don't think it's just that. Obviously, it's a lot of what you said too. But it's at the end of the day, like CryptoPunks stand on their own level in terms of like generative art, as you mentioned, and just like the actual like recognition they get in the NFT space, right? So to me, the only reason why I would sell it, as I mentioned, is literally to get a little more ETH to put it away, because I do think ETH to me is the most valuable asset in crypto, more or less. And to just buy another one, like a floor punk. Like I don't need like a cool looking crypto punk. I mean, I think this one looks pretty cool, but you
This
know,
one's badass, man. You got the beanie and the, what is it, a blindfold, or
I
what
think
do
it's
they
the
call
eye
that?
mask they call it, the eye
Eye
mask.
mask. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the only thing is the mutton chops, but I was like, I'll live with it. And the funny thing too is that this was actually a floor punk when I got it. So I think I would consider myself pretty lucky for the price that I got it at. Yeah.
Oh, it's definitely a good snipe, man. It's a great, great price. Yeah, I mean, dude, you should be super proud that you sniped that, and at the price that you did, that's an amazing price, 16 ETH. Like, come on, it's a totally different game now. What do you make of the recent kind of explosion in punk buys?
It's crazy, man. It's I don't want to say that it's because of Gary V. Shout outs to Mr. V. Didn't he buy? I think he spent like 3 to 5 million or something on like an ape. Um, but because it was even before that, like the floor was rising. I think like I pretty much bought this like mid floor, like while it was rising, even though I probably didn't even realize it. Because when Gary V got in, I think the floor was about 20 ETH or 21 ETH or something around that. Um, I truly think that it's it's like anything else. It's like Elon getting into Bitcoin, like what, a couple months ago. Like a lot of people just need that big figure, those big names to adopt something until they can get in, which I get, you know. But to me, like once that happens, you're a little too late, in my opinion, right? And that's kind of why, like again, like I definitely consider myself lucky to that extent as well. Oh, look at this
Yeah, I
guy,
mean, you
but
got in early, man. So this is the guy. This is the god right here. This is
oh, that's the
zero
guy.
x. This is, yeah, 0x
What?
650D. Okay. And so he tweeted this out today. He said, "Why did I spend 7 million on 104 floor punks?" And he said, "Easy, because I choose wealth." And it's a thread. He says, "I believe crypto will have far more impact on the world than traditional tech companies. It's already an asset class, and it'll restructure the worldwide financial system on top of trustless and censorship resistant infrastructure." Duh. I'm in this, dude. This is, I'm a talk. Hey, look, anybody watching, I'm a toxic Bitcoiner. Okay, so like, if you're gonna start talking about anything that is just obvious, like use case for Bitcoin, I'm just gonna get really toxic on you real quick. So I'm gonna be a Bitcoiner right there and give him a duh the way I do when I tweet people. But
Love
anyway,
it.
he says, "I believe." I believe crypto will have far more impact on the world than traditional tech companies. Duh, again. It is already an asset class, and okay, sorry, I already did that. So this is for the long run.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
you're wishing you could go back in time and buy Bitcoin below $10, back when you thought it was a fad or there would be dozens of coins like it, but you can't, and there's nothing like it. And this is in line with what you just said. And he said, same with NFTs. You can't go back in time and be the first. CryptoPunks are the first. Larva Labs innovation predated the ERC 721 token standard and was the inspiration for it. If you want scarce digital real estate, this is ground zero, and 10K is the new 21 million, referencing 21 million Bitcoins.
Damn.
So why buy 100 floor punks instead of a single rare one? The short answer is liquidity and
There you
diversification.
go.
If you get to own a Picasso, dude, it's crazy. If you get to own a Picasso, do you care which one? A rising tide lifts all boats, which is my partner Malachi's favorite thing to say. Yet smaller punks, especially as more and more people will try to own one. As the global demand for scarce assets in an increasingly digitalized, almost post-scarcity world increases, I believe that punks will be one of the largest benefactors. As for execution, I couldn't risk revealing my intentions to the market before the whole purchase was made. I feared that this would cause the CryptoPunk floor to move underneath me. Lessons in digital scarcity do not come cheap. And so that last one, he's referencing the fact that he made all of those buys in one block, which is insane.
That shit is crazy. I remember reading about this too. Yeah, the mining DAO was able to help him do that. That's MEV at its finest, by the way. I should put that in there. That's crazy, man. Like his punk.
It's nuts, dude. He's got this guy as a punk. It's pretty good. So yeah, I mean, it's really crazy, and you look at this guy thinking about it. To me, it's also a no brainer, and I wonder why people that have all the liquid funds in the world, like a Gary V, anybody, Jay Z, these people that are in the space, why they don't really, really, really ape in. Like I know Gary has 60 punks, so I'm not saying that he's like not
God.
aping in, but like to me, buying one of these things for 100 grand, if you're Jay-Z, like I know he already bought one. It's like, why don't you buy 20? I'm confused by that.
I think it's a really interesting thing, and I was thinking about that today too. Not about punks, actually about something else. But I think what interests well no, I think the reason why that is because, for example, Gary Vee, right? Why doesn't he buy 1,000 of them? Screw it. I mean, he can definitely afford it, right? It's because there'll be no punks left for other people to buy and market it. To me, at least, that to me that's what it is, right? So you can definitely get greedy and buy up almost all the punks you want, but then once you do that, then who's gonna really care because they don't have any. So why would they market it themselves? You know what I mean? I think that's part of the thing where it's like that's why some NFT projects are limited to like 8,000, 10,000 for scarcity, but sometimes scarcity isn't the best. Maybe you want more holders so the actual network effects and the marketing hits a broader audience. There's more people holding it, right? At least that's
Yeah,
my
and
take on
that's
it.
like I think that's a decent idea. The thing is like with Gary, only one person owning a considerable amount of the punks is kind of not possible to me at this point. I mean, it is if the richest people in the world decide that they just want to like buy a bajillion crypto punks, but
Yeah.
that's going to be a tough feat. But what you're saying is absolutely right. Like that's what we see with bored apes. There's so many unique holders of bored apes. The unique holders of bored apes have been increasing since the drop. And at one point, for example, Pranksy, I think he owned like 1,200 of them at one point or something
Man.
like that. And he dripped them out. Now he only has one, which is completely insane. So in many ways, he sort of created the situation that we're in, because if you remove that one entity, at one point he owned over 10% of the supply. And so if you remove that one entity, it's a totally different story. So yeah, but I know what you mean, because you see that in other pieces where all the trading kind of determines what the price actually is. It's like the price discovery part of the piece of the puzzle, and that can lead to the market responding in a given way. And in this case, obviously the market responded positively.
No, yeah, exactly, dude. And honestly, again, I think for CryptoPunks, it really is kind of just the beginning. I think the floor is kind of cooling off a little bit, which makes some sense. But the sales are still going up. I'll be honest with you. I think the floor cooling off, just giving people opportunity to actually buy in now. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, and you and me are buying in on some fractional action. And so let's talk about this. I think that this is the story in NFTs right now, is
Oh yes.
the fractional thing kind of becoming mainstream, right? And so if I look at my profile here, I got Party of the Living Dead. So this token, I'm a
Oh
fractional
yes.
owner of. This the same one as you, right?
Yep. That's
You
it. Dead.
you Exactly, the dead token. And so you and me both own fractional shares of this zombie punk, which zombie punks and alien punks are incredibly valuable, as are ape punks.
Right.
And yeah, we would not be able to just buy a zombie punk, right? Like Gary Vee bought a zombie punk for like 781,000 bucks or something
Yeah.
a while back. So they're like steep. I think the valuation of this one is like in the
Three.
millions. Yeah,
I
it's
think it's
like
like 3 or 4 million or something like that.
4.5. Look at that.
Oof. Oh my god.
Gnarly. And so people haven't really discussed this at length. I'm talking about it with you. I'm going to be talking about it with Video Game Freak on Wednesday. I'm going to have another guest that's very knowledgeable on it on Wednesday as well in a separate stream. So I'm going to definitely get the intel on this, but this is something that I've started doing. What attracted you to this, and where do you think that this whole thing can go?
Well, this specifically, I will say I love the idea of making NFTs more liquid. Just like when I went from DeFi into NFTs like a little while ago, mainly just because to me that was one of my main issues. I never liked the idea of buying an NFT and not knowing that I had a buyer on the other side, just in case I wanted to liquidate it and get money or ETH or whatever. So platforms like NFTX, Fractional, and I think a couple other ones are starting to come out where it allows you to pretty much make NFTs more liquid, whether you're fractionalizing it, making an index token based on the pool of a specific collectible, NFTX in that case. And for this one in particular, Party of the Living Dead in this case, I think it was literally like a couple nights ago when the Party DAO had finished the auction for it or something like that. I saw on Twitter someone retweeted it, and I saw that it was a fractionalized version of a freaking zombie punk. I'm like, oh, I wonder, like I wasn't able to get into the actual bidding of it, unfortunately, but I think it was like 12 o'clock midnight where I was at. I'm like, screw it. Got up, went on the computer, went on Uniswap, and just bought me a couple tokens. Like it wasn't even that much. It was like maybe like a quarter of an Ethereum. And I'll be honest with you, like I didn't even buy it because I expect the price to shoot up. I bought it because I like the feeling of owning part of a zombie punk. That's it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's such a weird thing to think about. Like I thought about it after the fact too. I'm just like, wow, it seems kind of dumb, but I kind of like it. It's nice to say that you own part of a zombie punk, you know?
Well, for sure. And I don't think it's kind of dumb at all. And what I was talking about today is I compare this to like when fractional shares for stocks emerged. Like all of a sudden you could buy fractional shares of like Amazon or Tesla or something, right? And so instead of having
Right.
to buy $3,200 share of Amazon, I mean, now it's closer to 4 grand, right? But it's like,
Yeah.
that's one thing, like just coughing up $3,200, like essentially one ETH to buy one share of Amazon just right there is one thing. But putting in like $20 a day or $100 a week or $500 a month or whatever is a totally different thing. And you can actually dollar cost average into these investments. And when I look at something like punks, it's the same thing for me as Bitcoin, where if Bitcoin goes down, I don't get sad. I actually get excited because I'm like, cool,
Right.
I get to buy the thing that I'm obsessed with, that I have incredibly high conviction in, for a cheaper price. Like it's the same thing
That's a
as if
crypto
you
OG right there. Yes.
well, think about it like this, man. If I go to the grocery store and I'm buying yogurt every week or whatever, and one day the same brand of yogurt I always buy is on sale for 25% off, I don't get pissed. I'm like excited. I'm like, dope. The same yogurt I buy every week is on sale.
That's a
And it's
fact.
the same thing with Bitcoin. So like my friends have been texting me about Bitcoin being up right now, and I'm like, yeah, what are you texting me about? We're paying more money for the same Bitcoin that we were buying a month ago. But I know different people think different ways, but I don't have that level of conviction for every old NFT project. Really, the
Ooh,
only NFT projects that I have that level of conviction for are punks, and now apes is starting to creep in there,
it
and
is.
cure. And curio cards for me personally, and Malachi is going to make fun of me
Really?
because he told me I won't shut up about curio cards. So I'm like, all right, well, look, I'm not trying to just always talk about curio cards, but they're creeping in as something for me that I have really high conviction in. So like, let's say punks went down in value, I would get excited now because I'm buying these fractional shares. I wish I was liquid enough to just buy a punk like straight up like you did. That's like a badass move. But do you kind of get what I mean? That this is now allowing people to kind of run with their conviction because you can just buy as much of this punk as you want. And if there's a market crash, I'm just going to get excited about putting more money into this punk.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I'll be honest with you, I truly feel that I truly feel that people won't even literally what you said. I truly feel like people won't even really care about the value tied to it that much, even if it does crash that much. Because again, it's like it's such a weird. It's probably the first time I've ever felt this way in crypto. Where it's like again, like ETH dropping in price to me is amazing. Like I love seeing it drop so I can buy more, especially if I have money sitting on the side, obviously. But I feel like in this case, it's just different. Like like I'm not losing money because to me, like I just it's an NFT more or less, right? I'm owning part of an NFT. I feel like I'm part of a club in all reality. So it's funny. The dollar price almost kind of doesn't matter that much to me. Um, yeah, it's crazy.
You're right, man. Like, so what you're talking about is something that I talk about, which is like one NFT equals one NFT. You see that all the time. One ETH equals one ETH, one Bitcoin equals one Bitcoin,
Yeah.
which is that, you get to a certain point where you start to understand, like, dude, it doesn't matter what the dollar amount is for this asset. If I'm just buying some bullshit today on OpenSea that I did already, I forget what the hell it's called, Spookies or whatever, just buying some bullshit because I see the hype move and I'm trying to make point, oh 05 ETH off of like a super quick flip in like 45 minutes, and then it goes down. No, I'm not happy about that. I'm
Of
pissed, and
course.
I'm
Yeah.
yeah, I'm pricing it in ETH, right? But like a crypto punk, a zombie punk of all things, I have super high conviction in. So one punk equals one punk. And if punks go down, it's just an opportunity now, especially that I can do fractional shares for me to, ape in with a lower price point on that thing that I already have this crazy high conviction in. And I'd love to be able to buy on sale.
Of course. No, and you know what? I truly think that like I think you mentioned like for example I had the idea the conviction to like ape into a punk per se. Like I'll be honest, I should be make it clear too that like I bought ETH like dollar cost average in ETH I should say in 2019 I think it was like when it was $200 per ETH more or
Mhm.
less. So like
Yep.
to me it's not like oh shit I'm spending 40K on a punk because I was telling my family like about because they don't know anything about crypto obviously right. I was telling them about the punk and they're like, "You spent how much?" I'm like, "No, no, I didn't spend 40K. I spent 16 ETH. Okay, there's a difference. I wouldn't take out 40K to my bank account, even if I had it, and throw it into a punk. Like, in my opinion, like I feel a lot more sound spending the ETH that I know I dollar cost averaged into. I guess is how I should put it. You know?
Yeah, no, I totally hear you, man. When I first started buying ETH, it was after the 2020 COVID crash. And so I think it was like between
Oh
150
yeah,
and
that was so
175.
cheap.
It was so
Yeah,
cheap. So I bought it then, and I was smart and excuse me, I was responsible. I eventually converted it all to Bitcoin, and I won't spend any of my Bitcoin. So it's just locked away. But I
yeah,
mean, that leaves me punkless. I could have bought punks all year if I'd converted the Bitcoin, but I won't do that. But
yeah.
it is what it is, trying to
It is
flip
what it
up.
is. Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, like, what your plans are to maybe sell this punk for like this massive sale, buy a floor punk from there, hold the ETH. What other punk related matters have you been like thinking about or paying attention to?
Besides that, I have been here and there, like kind of getting some derivative punk projects. I think some of them are interesting. Like some of them, not that many. Um, I used to play RuneScape quite a bit, old school RuneScape. I'm
Hmm.
not sure if you're familiar. And there's one called OSRS punks, like literally old school RuneScape themed punks. I got one
Okay.
of those things. I got the ugliest one. It is an ape, but it's an ugly one at that. Uh, and then I've also been watching how Larva Labs acts on behalf of like these other derivative projects that come out. Like I don't know if you saw I think they ended up like filing a DMCA complaint against CryptoPunks, like the left, the
Right.
left,
The left facing punks or whatever. Yeah.
you know. And I think that's such an interesting. I think it's such an interesting like a situation there. Like I don't have any strong opinions for or against it. At the end of the day, to me, it's like all they did was flip the punk and put a little border on it. So, like, can I be that? Can I be that? Mad that they filed a DMCA complaint against them? No, but it's still interesting. Like it's interesting to see like what these companies, centralized companies, do on behalf of their decentralized product. And how see other people react.
For sure. And, that lawsuit is interesting. It's like, was it really necessary? Were they making that much money off the left facing punks when everybody that's actually in the game knows that they're fake? Was it that big of a deal? I don't know. The lawsuit, if anything, is kind of like the bigger deal. At the same time, it's just literally a left facing punk. So it's kind of BS that they like just did that. So it's hard to tell. It's kind of the same thing as like, you don't buy a fake Gucci bag and act like it's a real thing or something. Cause at the end of the day,
Exactly.
it's the same kind of idea. Um,
You see this thing,
so
dude?
pay,
This is a fake Supreme Louis Vuitton wallet. I got from Canal Street. $20.
so you're all over it, man. And Supreme isn't coming after you or the guy selling it on Canal Street.
Hopefully not. No.
But
Yeah.
it's funny you brought up alt punk. So we have a wizard in our Discord. This guy Paper D. Shout out to Paper D. He's a badass. He's been on our show before. He's an animal when it comes to trading. He's got such a good eye. He follows the market very closely. He's a badass. And his policy with alt punks is he likes his alt punks to be funny.
Right. Oh,
If they're
yeah,
funny,
yeah,
then
yeah.
that's okay.
The fast food punks. I bet you have some of those.
You bet he does. Are you kidding me? Fast food punks is funny, and so he's all over it. But for example, I hit him up about the Van Gogh punks, and he's like, "That's not very funny."
I like
So,
those though. Yeah, I really like those. They
but
just
they're
look
not
nice.
funny, so they go
It,
against Paper D's thesis.
he's right. He's right. It's not comedic. It doesn't make you laugh. You're right.
No, no, it's hey, look, they might blow up, but Paper D, he can't touch them. I'm just using this one guy as an example, that one thesis. But I was looking at the Van Gogh punks because I thought they were really nice, just like you. And whoever made them actually looks like they gave a shit, you know?
No, yeah, and yeah, it's funny because like you see a lot of different products coming out, like especially like now more recently, like some of them are like actual like you could tell like that the artist put a lot of work into like the collectible aspect of it, making sure the art looks good, and then some of them are like low, more or less, kind of crappy in terms of the art aspect, and they still do good. You never know what's gonna pop off.
For sure. And so Jay Stoner Artwork said copyright infringement is the highest form of flattery. I think that's
Shout out to
fair,
Jay Stoner,
man.
bro.
I think he's right, and like yeah, like as soon as when we see these artists that are getting ripped off, like when a fake Twitter pops up because of an artist, or like someone's on Discord with a fake Discord asking people for money, that's like a sign that you made it. You're big enough that someone can try to rip people off with your picture and your name.
You see, I definitely agree with that. But the problem is, where do you draw the line? Like, okay, like for example, I mean, this is obvious. I think everyone would agree with this one. Whenever I make a YouTube video, occasionally there'll be some people in the comments that like, rip my profile picture and act like they're me asking for money, like scammers, right?
So you
I'm sure
made
you
it,
guys.
bro. You made it.
Yo, I got excited when I saw that. I'm like, holy shit, this is crazy. Then I realized, wait, what if someone falls for this? Right?
Right. That's a
So
bad thing.
there's that thing. But and then even with, for example, like actual work, like say the CryptoPunks, or let's say, whatever else, like, that's like video based or art based, whatever. It's like, is it right to go after the said individual after they've already made a whole bunch of money on, like off of your work? Or should you kind of like be ahead of the curve to either protect, the digital artwork that you made, or the people that you made it for? There's no right answer to it to me, but that's why I love seeing like this space kind of like grappling with that now. The idea of ownership, and like who owns what, really, right? I love seeing that. It's so interesting.
It's fascinating, and it's the Wild West in a big way. It's the Wild West. We don't know what direction all this stuff is going to go into. On that point, it's like if you're going to go after one of the alt punks, why aren't you just like going after all of them? Like, aren't all of them the same thing? It's like they didn't make that punk, and so now they're selling it. And they're literally making money. Like I literally saw fast food baby punks. So the fast food version of the crypto baby punks, and then I saw a scam of the fast food baby punks. You know what I mean? So like then people are buying the wrong fast food baby punks. So it's like, dude, how many layers of like ripoffs and scamming is this? And how much money can just be sucked up? Like how much speculation is going to go down in the market at one time? It's pretty nuts.
You know what? With crypto, it's infinite, bro. I think it's similar to like those. Shouts to Jay Stoner, by the way. Like, thanks for tuning in, Jay Stoner. Draws a
Yeah, no,
line of litigation.
I'm laughing at what you said at the infinite because you're right. It's like literally infinite in crypto, it seems.
No, it kind of just reminds me how DeFi was when Polygon was kind of going nuts, and even when the Binance Smart Chain was kind of going nuts too. Like there was so many scams, ridiculous. But the thing is, like you kind of had to use like your brain occasionally and be like, okay, maybe this doesn't make too much sense. You know what I mean? Like, and I think some people tend not to do that, and it's like, I mean, listen, shouts to the fast food baby punks. I'm sure they're doing good, but like, come on, bro. A derivative of a derivative.
Well, and then a ripoff of the derivative. It's like, come on, man. You know, at some point. Having said that, I was trying to get my hands on a real fast food baby punk because I was like, this thing's 0.01 ETH. There's no way I can't sell this for 0.05. Let me gobble these up. And I
There
literally
you
couldn't
go.
do it. It was incredibly competitive to buy these things. But all right,
Wow.
so I pulled up this project, World of Women project. NF Talk or NFT Talk said, how much longer do you think women will go up? So we had the two of the founders of World of Women on the show at the end of last week, Yam and Raf. Shout out to Yam and Raf. Major congratulations on selling out the project, and then even bigger congratulations on the success of the project post selling out, which is the real sort of meat and potatoes of being successful with one of these art projects. This the floor right now looks like it's at over an ETH. It looks like it's 1.1 ETH or so. Yeah, okay. Very
Wow.
impressive floor. Yeah, incredible. You definitely see these things on Twitter a lot. My thoughts on this project: first of all, never financial advice. Second, oh my god, a troll in the thing. Let me
Here come the
block this guy.
trolls.
Sorry, guys. All right, I just blocked him. Can I just put him in timeout? Is there? If anyone knows how to like get this guy out of the damn chat, that'd be great. But anyway, all right. I guess we're big enough to have trolls now.
Hey.
So yeah, so like, you know, with World of Women, I think that it could potentially continue to go up. So Gary V's quote is Bored Ape vibes. The thing to keep in mind about the project is you have like legit founders, like actual founders that give a shit. Like Raf and Yam like care about the project. Raf is handling like a lot of the operations. Yam is the artist behind the project, right? So she put her art into this, and she's part of NFT Goddesses, which is a sort of a conglomerate of artists, an entity in the NFT space that's incredibly supportive. Whenever we do an interview with anybody from NFT Goddesses, I got to give a major shout out to NFT Goddesses because like my Twitter blows up for like a whole day because all of the NFT Goddesses are tweeting about it, showing their support, sharing the content, sharing the video. It's pretty nuts to see like the support that that community gets. And so you have a generative art project with an artist from that community, and the people behind the project are organized, they show their faces, they come on shows like ours. There's a lot of potential for the project. Having said that, the floor is at over one, so you have to think about like, if I
Wow.
speculate on this, yeah, why am I speculating on this? How high do I think it's going to go? What's my end goal? If it's because you really like it and you want to be a part of it, go ahead, but you have to think that through before you drop like, you know, over an ETH on a project. And now watch, the thing's going to be 5 ETH next week and everyone's going to just try to cancel me.
Oof. Or the opposite. And that's why I gotta be careful with it. You know?
Sorry, I'm flipping out about this troll. I'm sorry, guys. While I'm talking, I can't pay attention to trolls, so I'm gonna need BFresh here to go off on a monologue while I take care of this weird ass
I
troll.
got you. Don't even worry about it. Yeah, no, I think you know, the entire thing of like, for example, like and I guess I can kind of touch on the topic of like, let's say like World of Women, for example, right? I don't know anything about World of Women, I should be clear. But like you were mentioning, like, you know, like buying at 1 ETH, and again, not financial advice. You know, like, does it make sense? Like, is it worth speculating on it? To me, like the way I go about kind of looking at NFTs in terms of buying it is like, number one, am I okay with holding it like for a long period of time? And what goes into that is, does it look good? Do I like the way it looks in my wallet? Because I use Rainbow Wallet. I don't know if you use Rainbow Wallet, PO, but it shows your NFTs beautifully. You know what I'm saying?
Really? Okay, I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah, wow. Okay.
Oh no, I'm going to put you on. So to me, it's like I kind of I feel like NFTs I have like kind of represent like more or less myself, and just, you know, like what makes my wallet look good. So that's why, for example, I got like a Meebit the other day. Like, it's my first punk because I got one that looked like myself. So I'm like, yeah, why not? You know, get a little representation of myself in the metaverse. CryptoPunk, you can't go wrong with that. And more recently, the Pudgy Penguins, because they look cute as hell. You know what I mean? Like, it's just it's like I don't mind not making a ton of money on it. Number, and I should also mention too, because, you know, they were at an affordable price. I don't think I've ever bought an NFT over 1 ETH besides a CryptoPunk. I should say that, you know. But yeah, to me, if I were to start speculating on stuff and all of a sudden, you know, like I'm spending about an ETH or something or more on an NFT, dude, I couldn't. Like, to me, buying a Pudgy Penguin at 0.9, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. You know, I could sell it. You know, for example, by the way, this is what they look like in my wallet. I'll show you.
Let
Let's see
me
if my
see.
camera. See if my camera. There you go. Bam.
Oh, nice.
You know,
Wow, they
so
look good, man.
So it's nice to like. So when I go to like a meetups and stuff, like, hey, you want to see my penguins? Bam, it just looks good.
It looks really good, man, and you got these penguins that are sitting, it looks like at a true floor of 1.2 each. What did you get in at?
When they hatched, it's really funny. They hatched, I think, a couple. I don't even know, maybe like a week ago at this point. I feel like it wasn't that long ago. They were going for 0.03 each, 0.03 Ethereum. I bought about 3 or 4 of them, and then as soon as like the eggs actually hatched themselves, they dropped to a floor of 0.01, so like $20. So I bought 2 more,
Damn.
and I was like, damn, this sucks. They went down. I'm like, okay, it doesn't matter. I'll just hold them for who knows how long. And now there's so much, and it's like I don't even know what to do. I'm probably gonna sell one and keep the rest because they look so cute. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. And that's why I'll be honest with you, Po. I know it sounds dumb, but as soon I check very 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 few things when it comes to NFT projects. Number one, are the founders? Do the founders have any clout? Do they have an actual team behind the project? Pudgy Penguins I saw did. And number two, do I see this being people's profile pictures? Are they cute enough to represent crypto Twitter? And these motherfuckers are beautiful. By the way, if I can't curse, I'm sorry. But these guys are, cute as hell. So I'm like, I
Dude,
gotta have them.
you can go nuts. We have our friend of the show, Danny's on this show, so anything goes. But definitely no creeps in the comments from now on. That was a very strange ambush that we got there. But yeah, Pudgy
Yeah.
Penguins. I skip Pudgy Penguins. That's my mistake, obviously, because it's like 100x return if you bought them at 0.01 like you did. So hats off to you, BFresh. Yeah, I mean, I think it's an interesting project. Speaking of projects that have good, like, founders and stuff like that, I also check those things that you were just talking about. And so I bought a few Satoshi bowls, or I bought one Satoshi bowl. Have you looked at that project at all?
I'll be honest with you, man. I'm not nowhere near an NFTs like you guys. So I'm not. Oh, these are crazy. Oh, look at that.
So these are all based on the Satoshi Nakamoto like picture, like that picture of the Japanese guy. And so yeah, they're pretty funny, man. And
Yeah.
they were moving, and then this VC Trevor Owens, shout out to Trevor, he's like a partner at a Bitcoin venture capital firm. He aped into them because they're like Bitcoin themed, and then he was like, "You got to get one," and I was like, yeah, let me look at them." They were moving. The founders are actual people. Like, they have, like, the artist has an Instagram with like years worth of art on there. I was like, okay, cool. The other founder is not Anon. He's like a real person. I was like, okay, cool. I looked at the unique holders. So I bought one, I got it for a good number. And yeah, I mean, they've been moving. They haven't broken through the point one ceiling, but it's an exciting project, and a lot of them are pretty funny.
Oh yeah, no, they look really dope. Actually, I'm not gonna lie to you. The yellow one.
I'll pull up the one I have.
Let's
But like
see. Let's see. Mhm.
what you were saying is pretty funny, man.
Look at this
This is the one
dude.
I got.
Yeah, it's looking kind of fruity. I like it.
I like him, man. He's holding it down. So, when you were talking about like buying something just because you like it and you think it could be a profile picture, that's why I bought my lizard, which is now my profile picture, because I felt like the art style on the lizard was like The Mask, like the Jim Carrey movie The Mask, which I
It
think is
does. Yeah.
yeah, and that movie's special to me because I saw it when I was really young, and I think it like informed my creative influences. And then the fact that this dude's got that microphone with that smile and the hat and the suit, I was like, all right, this guy's me right now, you know?
That's hilarious. Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, I didn't give it too much thought too. I like when we were talking in Discord. I'm like, what is this guy's profile picture? Like, I didn't give it too much thought. I'm like, all right, I like it. It's a lizard.
It
That's awesome.
it's a lizard, bro. And so look, I got lucky one. Shout out to the Orange Dow. He's been watching. He's commenting. Thanks for the alpha and the engagement, lucky one. As usual, you're the man. So he just said that the Dow is pushing spookies now. Well, I hope they are, because I bought one of those damn spookies at 0.07. So let's take a look at that. Did you see the spooky project?
I haven't, but I think someone mentioned that to me today or recently. Are they just ghosts? Is that what they are?
There goes, man. I got one holding an eyeball. Let's see what the floor is at. Let's see how bled
Ooh,
dry.
Coppable. Point zero
Uh,
five. That's coppable right there.
It's coppable. I bought at 0.07, so I literally bought the top, but we'll see what they get to tomorrow if this Dow is pushing them. This is an example where I bought the hype, and that's exactly what you shouldn't do. You should not buy the hype. You should buy things that you like you were talking about, and like my lizard. Like I'm not worried about the floor price of lizards because I just like my lizard. This is something I bought for hype, so I guess we'll have to see.
No, you know what? And I should be clear too. Like I say that from a perspective of I'm not actively out here like buying NFT products. Like I literally just told Pio. Like the only NFTs that I actually have that are part of like a collectible are the Meebit, CryptoPunk, and those pudgy penguins. Like that's literally it. So like you could say I was lucky on the pudgy penguins, but like I'm sure that if I were to try speculating on projects all day, I'd probably lose out on most of them. Not gonna lie to you. Like you start to overthink things. I think for the most part, once you start dedicating all your time to something, because you just wanna get rid of your ETH sometimes. Like I just need to get into something, and because I'm missing out on an opportunity potentially. Uh, it's just choosing how you get wrecked. I've noticed.
It, it's absolutely how you get wrecked, man. It's brutal. And projects can capitulate and then they come back. It's just so hard. Like Vogu was killing it. I think it was like a 1.1 ETH floor. Looks like the floor is down at 0.62. Dude, this project Doge Pound has had a very surprising sustainability. It's still 1.14 ETH floor. Did you see this one at all?
No, dude, what the hell is this? The Doge Pound. Yeah.
Dude, this minted for 0.06. My friend was going to mint it as his first NFTs ever, but he didn't know how to do it, and I was out, so I wasn't able to, actually take a look at it. And he bought it on the secondary, and it went up. I got to shout out John Doe real quick, the opposite of a troll. Instead, he is a
My
supporter,
man.
and he supported us. Yeah, a donation right here. Thank you so much, John. He said, "Hey man, what do you think about gutter cats and rats? Unique ownership is over 50%." Okay, we got more people talking about projects here. So, John, what do I think of gutter cats? I think that gutter cats is very dope artwork. I think that the mint count of 3,000 is something that is very important.
There's only
Friend of the show,
3K? Wow.
Mhm. Yep. Friend of the show, Danny, is a gutter cat whale. I think he's got like 30 cats or something, and some of them are really rare. Like he has a gold tats. And I think that they were on the right track by making the rats also something that you can have as a profile picture. I haven't looked at the rats in a while, so we'll look at them now. I haven't paid attention to the floor, but I know that the gutter cat floor has been remarkably strong. And one little anecdote, I was in Beanie's Spaces today on stage, got an opportunity to speak on stage in Beanie's Spaces. And I was trying to use Gutter Cats as an example of a project that I have less conviction in than CryptoPunks, which I don't
Right.
think is that I don't think that's that unreasonable of a thing to say, that I have less conviction in Gutter Cats than like the number
Of course.
one conviction thing that I've. Yeah, well, dude, this guy jumped on me. He was like jumping down my throat, like derailing my whole point because he was like, "Nah, dude, gutter cats are here to stay." I was like, "Bro, it's an example. You're just cutting off my whole point."
Cult
But that shows
mentality.
you cult mentality, dude. There's some like serious gutter cat supporters.
You know what? Some products kind of need people like that. I mean that's like, but you have that in every industry or every type of form. It's like that's like Bitcoin maxes. Even some Ethereum maxes are like that. As soon as you tell them something that's opposes what they like, they get nuts on you. Even if it is like crazy. Like I mean, shout out to gutter cats. I mean, I have heard of gutter cats. To me, like gutter cats, board apes yacht club are like the two of the products that I pretty much more or less know nothing about, but I do see a lot of people talking about both. Is that a Trump one? The here. Um,
This guy, yeah, yeah. I think the trade is called Trump hair, I think, which is pretty funny. Let's see.
is it actually?
Donnie is what it's called. So yes, it's Trump. It's Trump theme. Wicked funny. Wicked funny.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, you know what? I can definitely. It's funny because I truly feel like CryptoPunks to me were like the number one thing, number one NFTs in my opinion, and Meebits to me were the second because I mean you have Larva Labs behind it. They have a larger mid count, and you can use them in metaverses because they have that the 3D. They have like the OBJ file you can download if you want to actually use it, like render it in like Adobe Aero or something like that, whatever it's called. But after seeing after seeing what Bored Ape Yacht Club have been able to do in terms of that floor place is nuts. Number one, number two, just
Yeah.
seeing like how many unique holders there are. I'm starting to kind of believe that they might be here to stay as well. I mean, I don't have one. I remember seeing them at point 0.3 Ethereum. I didn't get in. I didn't get in at all. But like, you know, I'm gonna say it. Like, I truly feel like they could potentially also like just be here to stay. You know?
I think that's totally fair. And dude, honestly, I'd go as far like, Gutter Cat is legit, man. It really is. Like 2.4 floor price. What the hell? Like I didn't know that.
That's
That's
high.
pretty like bonkers. I haven't been paying attention. Yeah. But like you just see like even this graphic right here, it's just dope. And then
That's
all of
dope.
the cats all the cats are desirable. So this is like a big thing I look at is like, are all of them desirable? Like all of them, could they be in
Yes.
a profile picture for someone? And it's like, yeah, they could, man. They all, cause they all just have a good art style. And like even Donald Trump hair, it just works. It's just funny. It just works.
They might lose. They might lose a couple of Democrats here. But hey, you know what? That's a. Isn't it kind of crazy how like you could just look at it and be like, yeah, that's Trump's hair. Isn't
Yeah.
that
Well,
the hell?
yeah, I was just gonna say. So John Doe, he's like hitting us with gutter floor is over to ETH. Buy before it's too late.
Oh
Join the
man,
Discord. Best team, dude. Were you the guy that cut me off in the beanie spaces today? Like, are you the guy that was on me about gutter cats? No, I'm just giving you a hard time. But that's dope. And yeah, look, hey, it's a successful project. And at the end of the day, like some projects are just bigger than one individual person. So we got a Vogu gang up in here. Hey, look. Was ringing. BFresh, can you hear me right now?
you're good. You're good.
Sounds good. So I want to talk about another project. So Lucky One's shouting out the Shy Modu collection. So this was on Maker's Place, but I think I can access it on OpenSea. This is a photographer. He did hip hop portraits of all like the known hip hop stars in the 90s. He passed away recently, and
Oh,
photography in NFTs has been exploding. Dude, I've been doing spaces and there's so many photographers pouring into the NFT space. Like photographers are representing in NFTs right now. And this is an interesting project, especially since the artist passed away. So I'm trying to pull it up right now. We're getting some of these shy modus. Is this on your radar at all? Had you heard about this?
dude, not at all. No disrespect to anyone who likes these. Not at all.
Well, we're gonna find them.
And by the way, what what's it called? When did they pass away? The artist? Is it recently? Like really recently?
Yeah, he died like in the past like 2 months, I think. Lucky one. If you're watching and you know the answer, let me know. Yeah, here's the work. So check it out. So this is like the dope stuff. So I think it's all shot on film because it's from the 90s, the early 90s. This is Snoop, right? It's sick. And he's got a Tupac one, which is crazy. He's got Nas, like young Nas in his house. He's got Old Dirty Bastard from Wu-Tang Clan. He really did get pictures of like the who's who. He's got Ice Cube, like the who's who of like the West Coast hip hoppers that became really famous. And I guess New York too, because of people like ODB. It's just so hard to, oh, here we go. More from this collection. Here we go. Oh
Hey,
no,
I'm
this
from
is
New
not the
York.
same collection.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I think that NFT photography is just so interesting, the way that it's going to kind of shape the space because it's a whole influx of photographers. So what's the next influx? We've already seen like kind of like fine artists. Now we've seen photographers. So what's next? Is physical sculpture going to pour in? Is like cartoonists going to pour in? I'm so fascinated by that.
Yeah, I think I mean, and I'm gonna be the first one to say I have no idea what the hell is next, but I think I think physical stuff would be really cool. Like I have a friend who like graduated out of school as a sculptor, and he makes these amazing like pieces of work. And like he doesn't have a website, he doesn't know what the hell crypto or blockchain is. And I've been trying to put him on NFTs, and like I'm trying to work with him and be like, yo, dude, we should have this thing where it's like you set up a website, you can use OpenSea's API because I think they have that. And like every time you sell a digital work, you can ship the person who buys it like the actual thing. And these aren't like small little things. This dude's making like things that are like 10 feet tall that are like big sculptures that take a while to make. And it's like, like why not leverage the blockchain, NFTs, and everything that it brings to sell some of your work, man? I mean, I think tying the physical and digital is so cool. I love that idea.
Absolutely. No, you're totally right. And then the NFT serves as a digital token of authenticity, which is how we're going to see NFTs, really blockchain technology, penetrate like every aspect of life, like, your driver's license or your passport or the deed to your house or the deed to your car or like this, that, and the other thing. All these things are going to be represented by an NFT, a token of authentication that lives on the blockchain forever. I finally found the damn Shy Modu, even though we've already moved on. We got Tupac shots right here, and I feel like these are pretty famous pictures of Tupac. We got Nas in his house right there. We got Tupac again right here. Snoop Dogg with a gun. Easy
Damn.
E. The whole Wu-Tang Clan. Snoop, Snoop, Snoop. Biggie, ever heard of him? Ice Cube, ODB, Biggie, Sean Puffy Combs, and Craig Mack,
I
New
love
York
that like
legend.
wide angle shot. You know how a lot of them are just wide angle and it gets everything, like the fisheye. I love that. It looks
I
so
think it's a
dope.
fisheye. Yeah, and I think that it's a fisheye, and it's like that's pretty representative of like the art style of this time because a lot of those early '90s hip hop videos, like the Missy Elliott videos, the Biggie Smalls videos, they were done with fisheye. So I think it was a very trendy, like artistic style at the time. Like I think that this is a fisheye too, right? This Ice Cube one. It looks
I
like
think
it.
I think it is. It looks like it. Yeah.
So this is a sick collection. So it looks like Lucky One has them. And now, dude, I was looking at these and I could have got in for like point 0.2, point 0.3. It looks like everything is priced way above that now. No surprise. Photography in the NFT space is blowing up. I probably should have pulled the trigger on one of these.
I'm way more hesitant about anything photography related. I'm not gonna lie to you. Mainly if I'm gonna spend a lot of money on it, obviously, but also too, like if it's like 'cause I don't know, I truly feel like if, like photography, obviously, like like Instagram, like revolutionized the ability to share, photography. It turned everyone into a photographer essentially. Like you were no longer special if you knew how to do photography yourself, because Instagram allowed people to do it with filters and all that stuff. I just don't see, and people can hate on me if they want. I don't see like the value in photography as much in NFTs. You know what I mean? Like especially because like it's hard to make collections out of pictures without people just ripping them, unfortunately. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think that so I would say to look out for it because, so the one that kind of popped the cherry, so to speak, that burst the bubble is this guy, Justin Aversano. And
Twin
so
Flames. I heard about that.
yeah, so the floor on Twin Flames is like 3 or 4 Bitcoins at this point. It's completely out of control. It really is totally bonkers how well this project is done. And so when you think about it, photographers put together books and stuff, and so those collections really lend themselves to, the NFT kind of structure. And so yeah, he just put out this collection of 100 photos that he got of twins, and people responded like incredibly well to them. And now the floor is literally 98 ETH. It's completely nuts.
Wow. That is see, there you go. And that's why I'll always say it's never financial advice, because I would never tell you that that could be that was even possible.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nuts. And so like he's the hottest thing in photography now, and it's literally spawned like an army of photographers to enter the NFT space. And when you think about it, right? Photographers have had like issues with monetization for as long as photography has existed because selling prints is such a hustle. You have to ship them usually, or you can do it at a small scale at like an art show or something like that. It's just it's not really sustainable. And even like really famous photographers like Robert Mapplethorpe in the 80s, for example, there's an anecdote in the documentary on HBO of Robert Mapplethorpe where he gave some photos to Fran Lebowitz. She's a satirist and a kind of personality, a writer in New York. And in the documentary, she said that she just threw them away when she was moving at one point because pictures didn't hold that worth. Even though he was like an important artist at that time, like physical photographs, it just wasn't that big of a deal. And obviously it changed over time, but I think that NFTs is a really natural way for photographers to finally be able to have a proper avenue to monetize their work. And you can still get the physical. This is a great example of the digital and the physical, because the photo print on the wall isn't going to go anywhere, but that digital token of authenticity that you can flex in a social media account or is super liquid and you can trade immediately, that's the difference.
No, facts, dude. And if for nothing else, like to me, I love seeing stuff like this flourish because of what you said. Like it takes like a field that was previously left pretty much homeless and screwed, like photography, artist, and it's like it's almost done like the opposite. It took them from making nothing. It's like if you do it right, if you market yourself well, if you kind of learn how the blockchain works, you could leverage your shit and make who knows 100K off a photo. Shout outs to these two guys.
Yeah, this photo is like just eerie, man. There's something about it. Like this is a good collection for sure. He's a gnarly photographer for this collection. It's definitely super dope. So I gotta call out the Orange DAO showing up and really showing out. I'm seeing like in this chat, I'm just overrun by orange. I'm just blinded by all the orange that I'm seeing. So I
I
just got to
love the
shout
color
out the Orange
orange.
DAO.
Shout out
Well,
to the orange now.
you got to get in the Orange DAO, bro. Everybody, let him know what he should buy to get in the DAO, because I know certain projects are admitted, certain projects aren't. I don't want to misspeak. I want to respect the Orange
Oh my
DAO. You,
god. Dude, I was literally like, I was put onto that the other day. By the way, like the whole idea of having to pay for something to get involved in like a Discord or something like that. I'm like especially DAOs nowadays. Like there's some like think like one of them I was told about was like friends with benefits. You have to buy a certain amount of tokens or NFT to get in. It's so interesting. It's like I don't know. It's like a secret society more or less.
Well, yeah, NFTs are filled with secret societies, man. It's pretty crazy. And so there's apparently a scandal that I want to call out that looks
Yeah,
like
yeah.
has been brought to our attention. And yeah, the Orange DAO has responded. They show support. Shout out Orange DAO. So check it out. So it looks like there was plagiarism, perhaps. It, or something. Like if someone knows, type it in the chat real quick, because I don't want to speak out of turn here, but it seems like there's some controversy about Fame Lady Squad and another project. um oh wow, so
Oof.
okay, cool. So Fame Lady Squad's floor went from zero point 0.1 to 0.015 in a blink, so something
Oh
bad
no.
happened. We'll find out what it is. I don't know what it is. If someone wants to, someone's saying, "Give me a sec." Maybe they're going to do some sleuthing for us. But I owned this project once upon a time, but I got out of it, so didn't get wrecked on this one. I got out of it.
Oh my god, bro. That's crazy, bro. Like, I mean, I truly think NFTs are like I've been telling everyone who's in the DeFi before, like you are doing yourself a disservice by not at least giving the time of day to NFTs and learning about it because you can make a lot of money. You can lose a lot of money too, but I think you can make a lot more than you'll end up losing for sure.
I think you'll see less like DeFi projects and like cryptocurrencies themselves pop up, because like it's more fun to speculate on NFTs, and NFTs kind of like they fill all the sort of voids that those things like cryptocurrencies and DeFi projects are trying to fill for the most part. And they're also going to do a lot of the same shit, like with the staking and like the burning and this, that, and the other thing, the liquidity pools and all that. So I wouldn't be
Right.
surprised if you just see more like NFTs. But yeah,
It's crazy, bro. And let me ask you this, by the way, too, because I've been really interested in it as well. Is the stuff that Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis was doing? What was that, Stoner Cats? How's that going, by the way? I heard that there's a whole fallout with the gas wars and people asking for refunds and shit like that.
yeah,
I was gonna get one too.
they were going to get Ethereum customer service on the phone. That was like the big joke that came out of it, right? Is that they said that they were in talks with Ethereum. I was like, what the hell does that mean? Like what
They said that.
Vitalik
Oh,
it's so funny, man. And Vitalik is involved with the project, but dude, this isn't like AT&T. You can't like there's no customer support, So um All right, so Stoner Cats. So this is the story of Stoner Cats, and we actually had this guy Sasha, who's also a partner at Stacks Accelerator, the Bitcoin venture capital firm, on, and he gave a much better summary of the Stoner Cats scenario situation than I did. So if you want a really good one, then definitely watch that video I did with him. He talks about it at the end. But basically, what happened is these were priced really, really high. They were priced at zero point 0.3 ETH at mint. There was a serious gas war, like a gas war of epic portions at the drop. And it led to the customers that were trying to mint these Stoner Cats losing $800,000 worth of ETH collectively because
Oh,
of
right,
just
right.
lost gas. Really bad. And there were pretty tone deaf responses. The word that was thrown around a lot was tone deaf responses by the creators of Stoner Cats. And there were also issues with the contract and issues with the way that they rolled things out. And people felt like it was a lot of money, like it was a cash grab because of the actual product that the buyers got. Like this is not a project that cost $12 million to fund, was the argument. Obviously, there are big names associated with it, but that's kind of the TLDR. And if I missed anything, people in the comments can definitely write it. But that's kind of like, yeah, that's kind of it. And then someone referenced Blaze Cats, so I'll pull up Blaze Cats, which was the protest, the response from the community that you could just make a quality project inside of 48 hours. And I might even buy a Blaze Cat right now, depending on the price, because I support that project. But yeah, what are your thoughts on that, Be
Ooh.
Fresh?
That's interesting, man. I was gonna go until I'm in actually, until my alarm didn't go off. But I think I think it's really interesting. It kind of goes to the whole adage of if people are gonna pay it, then why not make the whole? Then like why not charge that much? People paid it, right? It sold out, didn't it? Um, Technically, right? So other than that, I saw that like there like some things come with it, as in like you could like end up sponsoring a product if you like. I think if you end up doing something after buying a cat, and I think to a certain extent, like each cat counted as like almost like a token to like their Discord, or to not the Discord, but to whatever I don't know thing they had going on, because they were gonna make like shows out of it and stuff like that. I thought it was interesting, very expensive but interesting.
Definitely expensive. I want to ask the Orange Dow. The color of this is rust. If I buy this, is this orange? Can I consider this orange? You guys got to let me know if this is orange.
I don't know. That's the background's orange, but that's not orange. That man's
All right.
red.
Either way, I'm buying this thing right now, though. So
Hey,
let's go.
yeah, but hold on, dude. How much are the fees right now? Aren't they like really high?
Yeah, I also do, I literally don't even have this much in my MetaMask wallet, so I have to come back. Someone said deep orange. Well, yeah, I mean, look, here's some alpha for you guys, everyone that's watching. Like, if you want some actual alpha, look at this, right? You have this quality project of Blaze Cats, which is a protest against the Stoner Cat situation, and you have the floor. Oh, okay, so dude, OpenSea has been acting so weird for me all day. I'm sorry. I was about to drop alpha that's not true because literally the metadata did not load properly. But yeah, everything that I was about to say is not the
Don't
case
even
because
worry
I was
about
gonna
it.
I was gonna identify a mispriced Blaze Cap, but that's just not what the story is right now.
I mean, if it's a protest, then that's where the value comes from, right? Value can be derived in many different ways, especially in crypto. Um, but it's really interesting to see what flourishes for sure. Like a punked. That's funny.
Exactly. That's like what the key thing here is, that they really did that. And look at the quality of this art. It's nice. It's really good.
It's definitely solid. I mean, for how long you said? 48 hours?
Like 48 hours, yeah, from scratch.
That's impressive, I will say.
With a contract that just worked. It was just a well-written contract.
You know what I found very interesting that people haven't done yet. Maybe you can give me your thoughts on this too. Uh, how do you feel about the whole idea that, for example, that Larva Labs for both of their projects? I don't know about Autoglyphs, but Meebits and CryptoPunks, they both have their own feeless marketplace where it's like there's no like fee to sell or buy. I guess is what I'm trying to say. I'm surprised no other project has done that. I mean, unless I just haven't seen it. Like I'm surprised the Bored Apes didn't do that, or Pudgy Penguins or something.
Yeah, that's a good question. The other thing is that on Stoner Cats, the initial fee was 10%. which is pretty gnarly, and they dropped it down to 2.5% because the community was like, "Yo,
Wow.
fuck that," But yeah, I think that low resale, royalty is something that people should think about. You haven't seen it really in too many mainstream projects. Yeah, you know, it's possible, but a big part of the success of a project is once it starts trading at a crazy high volume and the floor creeps up to 1 ETH or 1.5 ETH, then you're starting to really make money. So, for example, the founders of Bored Apes, man, they must be making bank
Yeah.
with the success of the project. It must be nuts.
Oh, that's okay. No, yeah, I should have thought that. That's why. But I guess what I'm saying is like that's why, because I've been wondering this entire time why people don't make their own marketplace separate from OpenSea. Like again,
Oh,
Larva Labs
oh,
did it.
sorry, I misunderstood your question.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
sorry. So
yeah.
you meant
It
the
ties
OpenSea
together though.
fee.
Yeah, I mean it ties together, but it's just the whole idea that OpenSea charges a fee and the founders on top of that can charge another fee. So you're paying who knows how much of a fee depending on the project. Whereas for CryptoPunks or Meebits, you can trade it just directly through the contract. You know what I'm saying? You don't need a front end to do it. You can technically just do it off the blockchain, which I'm surprised no other project has done that, or maybe baked in their own fee to that. I don't know. Just surprising.
I don't know. Yeah, I think that, the customer does like the user interface to just be able to click and just be able to knock it out with like kind of that safety, so to speak. But no, that's a good thought. All right, well, we've been going for over an hour now. Any closing thoughts, Be Fresh?
Sir, all I'll say is I think I mentioned it earlier, but whether it be NFTs or DeFi, I highly recommend anybody, if you're into crypto to any certain extent, try not to be closed minded. Don't be the boomer in crypto because I guarantee that's the number one way to either lose money or lose out on potential. That's all.
Very wise words. Looks like the drama is that the ladies behind Fame Lady Squad and Queenship are just dudes. What a surprise. Never could have seen that coming when the anonymous founders weren't actually chicks. What a surprise. Well, there you go. But everyone, thanks so much for watching. Be Fresh. Thanks for coming on, bro. This was a lot of fun. And yeah, everyone, make sure you like, subscribe, and check out Be Fresh's content too. I put his Twitter handle in the description and we'll link to his YouTube channel too.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you, Pio.